Who doesn't know Jim Carrey? All thanks to his long career in movies. Well, rumors of Jim Carrey being dead is all over Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Relax as celebrity gossip serves you the real truth about Jim Carrey. The rumor that first hit the internet in 2022 is that Jim Carrey will die in 2022. The real source of the rumors can be traced back to some clickbait material that appeared on both Twitter and YouTube. The title of the news outlet read, "Tragic Death of Jim Carrey." Jim Carrey's health is deteriorating, source, listen to his final comments to his family, friends, and fans. The story caused a lot of chaos among fans, but it's actually just a clickbait. In one of the screenshots shared on Twitter, a news outlet headline read, "Jim Carrey Tragic Passing. Jim Carrey's health declines, source, check out his last words to family, friends, and fans." Not only the title, but even the description of the video also tries to trick people into thinking that the actor passed away. James Eugene Carrey is a Canadian-American actor and comedian. Known for his energetic slapstick performances, Carrey first gained recognition in 1990 after landing a recurring role on the American comedy television series In Living Color. R.I.P. It's with our deepest regret to report that the death of comedy legend Jim Carrey Amado. No reliable media house or Twitter page has released anything about Carrey's death, and it can be safely assumed that the actor is healthy and well. While the post confused some people, it turns out that the clickbait site has nothing to do with Jim. As of June 2022, Jim still lives in his luxurious Hollywood home and enjoys the perks of being an international movie star. Yeah, Jim is still alive. But in April 2022, he said that he was pretty serious about retiring from acting while promoting the movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2. While the actor has not said that he's suffering from any medical issues, but he has once admitted to having mental health issues. During an interview with Jeff Foster, the actor revealed that he'd suffered from depression recently. In the same discussion, Carrey revealed that Jim Carrey never existed and that he was just a character that he wants to smear in hopes that people will like him.
I don't exist, so they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters.
He also acknowledged that he always pretended to be unconcerned because he wanted others to feel the same way. Carrey was born on January 17, 1962, in the Toronto suburb of Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, to Kathleen Nee Oram, a homemaker, and Percy Carey, a musician and accountant. He was raised a Roman Catholic and has 3 older siblings, John, Patricia, and Rita. Carey's mother was of French, Irish, and Scottish descent, and his father was of French-Canadian ancestry. The family's original surname was Kerr. When he was 8 years old, he began making faces before a mirror and discovered a talent for doing impressions. At age 10, Carrey wrote a letter to Carol Burnett of The Carol Burnett Show, pointing out that he was already a master of impressions and should be considered for a role in the show. He couldn't contain his joy when he received a reply in the form of a letter. A fan of Monty Python, whose TV show aired in the 1970s, in 2014, Carrey appeared on Monty Python's Best Bits and recalled the effect on him of Ernest Scribbler, played by Michael Palin, laughing himself to death in the funniest joke in the world sketch. Radio Time states, "You'll see why immediately. Palin's performance is uncannily Carrey-esque." Carrey lived his early years in the borough of Scarborough, Ontario, part of the metropolitan Toronto area, where he attended Blessed Trinity Catholic Elementary School in New York. His family later moved to Burlington, Ontario. He spent 8 years there. Jim attended Aldershot High School while there, and after some time, his family became homeless and lived together in a Volkswagen van while young Jim and his brother spent months living in a tent in Charles Daly Park on the Lake Ontario shore in Lincoln, Ontario. Carrey's family struggled financially, but their situation started becoming better when his father found employment in the accounting department at the Titan Wheels tire factory in Scarborough. Because they live in a house across the street from the factory, the family, which is made up of mostly teenage sons, Jim and John would work as janitors and security guards at the tire factory, doing 8-hour shifts from 6 p.m. to the next morning. Moving back to Scarborough, Jim started attending Agincourt Collegiate Institute before dropping out of school on his 16th birthday. He began to perform comedy in downtown Toronto while continuing to work at the factory. In a 2007 Hamilton Spectator interview, Carrey said, "If my career in show business hadn't panned out, I would probably be working today in Hamilton, Ontario at the DeFosco Steel Mill." As a young man, he could see the steel mill across the Burlington Bay and often thought that that was where great jobs were. A lot of people don't know that Carrey's first stand-up comedy experience took place in 1977 at the age of 15, with his father trying to help him put together a stage act, driving him downtown Toronto to debut at the recently opened Yuck Yuck Comedy Club, operating one night a week out of the community center's basement on Church Street. For the performance, Carrey had his attire a polyester leisure suit, which was selected by his mother, who reasoned that's how they dress on the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. Pubescent Carrey's conventional impersonations bombed, proving ill-suited for a club with a raunchy, Belushi-esque comedic sensibility and giving the youngster doubts about his potential as a professional entertainer. Years later, while recalling Carrey's stand-up debut, Yuck Yuck's owner, Mark Breslin, described it as bad rich little. His family's financial struggles made it difficult for them to support Carrey's show business ambitions. Along the line, the family's financial situation improved and they packed into a new home in Jackson's Point. When his family had more domestic stability, Carrey returned to the stage in 1979 with a more polished act that had led to his first paid gig, a 20-minute spot on the Hayloft Club on Highway 48 in Scarborough for a reported $20 Canadian compensation on a bill with the mother-of-pearl performer from The Pig and the Whistle. He soon faced his fears and went back downtown to the site of his debacle from 2 years earlier, Yuck Yucks, that had in the meantime moved into a permanent location on Bay Street in the fashionable Yorkville district. In a short period of time, the 17-year-old went from open mic nights at the club to regular paid shows, building his reputation in the process. In June 2018, Carrey was cast as Dr. Robotnik, the main antagonist of the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series and a film adaptation of the franchise. The film was released in February 2020 and received a lot of positive reviews. Carrey's portrayal of Robotnik was praised, with some considering it as one of his best performances in years. Because he did wonderfully well, Carrey returned to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2, released in April 2022, which grossed $72 million at the US box office in its opening weekend to give Carrey the best opening of his career to date. And in 2020, Carrey published Memoirs and Misinformation. In September of the same year, during the final stages of the 2020 US presidential election, it was announced that Carrey would portray presidential nominee Joe Biden on the 46th season of Saturday Night Live, taking over the role from Jason Sudeikis, Woody Harrelson, and John Mulaney. But Carrey's high-energy comedy style clashed with real-life Biden's low-key persona, producing an imitation that lacked authenticity and failed to impress viewers and critics. On December 19, 2020, he announced that he would step down from playing Biden on Saturday Night Live, stating that he had a 6-week deal. Cast member Alex Moffat succeeded Carrey in portraying Biden during the cold open of the episode hosted by Kristen Wiig at the same day. When you think Carrey is already rounding up, he appeared as the narrator of the Weekend album Dawn FM, released on 7th of January 2022. In April 2022, Carrey announced that he was considering to retire from the movie-making industry, explaining that he had done enough, have enough, and was enough. When asked if he could ever come back, his response was, "It depends. If the angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road, but I'm taking a break." Carrey suffers from depression and has taken Prozac to combat his symptoms. He stated that he no longer takes medications or stimulants of any kind, including coffee, and Carrey received U.S. citizenship in October 2004 and remains a dual citizen of the United States and his native Canada. Using death as a clickbait is an expensive joke. Nobody should try it. For now, Jim Carrey is alive. Like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos. Thanks.
Alrighty then.